Been a business owner and pretty much wearing all the hats for the last few years, and it's been great. I really focus on the process rather than results. I think we can get into that mindset where it's like it's never enough, and for me, it's like you just have to trust the process.
Welcome to the NuvoDesk podcast. I'm your host, Parker Neal. At NuvoDesk Coworking, we're all about creating a space where innovation thrives and connections grow. Designed to build comfort and professionalism in mind, our upscale coworking office in Arlington, Texas empowers entrepreneurs, freelancers, and teams to do their best work. But what makes NuvoDesk truly special are the people and businesses that make this place thrive. Today, we're introducing one of them.
Hello, I'm Mayan Corioso. I'm CEO of Providence Roofing and Construction.
So tell us some about your story.
So about 10 years ago, I was prior to roofing, and I was a teacher and a coach, and got married and started having kids and realized I probably needed to find a profession that maybe paid a little bit more. Got into sales and customer service back in 2015, and then started in the roofing restoration industry in 2017. And worked for a number of companies, and then decided to start my own company in 2021. So been a business owner and pretty much wearing all the hats for the last few years, and it's been great, and NuvoDesk has been a part of that journey.
So what do you think led you to doing this as a career rather than being a teacher?
You know, I love teaching. I really enjoyed coaching. I could never imagine myself not doing that, but one of the goals that my wife and I had was to have a bigger family. So we now have 5 children, and we homeschool our kids. And I wanted a little more. What I found was I was spending a lot of time, coaching and going to games every weekend and doing those types of things, and just wanted a different lifestyle. I wanted something where it was a little more family centric and give me something that's going to give me flexibility to be with my family. And so this is where we're at, and we really love it.
So tell us some about what you do as a business.
So we provide services, whether it's roof inspections, repairs, full roof replacements. We do shingles, metal. We also do commercial residential. One of the things that we specialize in is insurance restoration, which the insurance industry is changing as of late. But I got my adjuster license in 2017 and really educated myself in the insurance game. So navigating the waters of trying to file a claim, whether we should or shouldn't, is what we do. So I'll go out and do an inspection on a property and just consult and educate homeowners on what their options are, and then provide the services that they need to get taken care of.
So what would you say makes your business stand out?
One of our core values is service. I would say the 3 things that we try to do that's, I don't want to say different. There's a lot of good people and good companies out there, but just being honest and having integrity, which can be challenging in this industry at times. And then, as I said before, just service. I really like sitting down with people, getting to know them as a person, people, families, hearing their stories. I just sat with a client the other day for a few hours and just talked about their lives. And they were older clients, and that's why I got into this industry. Being able to do that and sit down and get to know them, so that when we proceed with whatever we're going to do, they feel comfortable with me. They connect with me, and just having the opportunity to serve is really the biggest reward we get from what we do.
So how did you originally find out about NuvoDesk, and why did you choose it?
So there's a networking group that I attend here. It's the first introduction to being here. So I've been coming here for 2 years now, and since I have to be here every Wednesday, I was wanting to have a space to set up shop and do work, and met with Brian at the front, and he gave me some options, and I wasn't really that in tune with what a shared space was and what you guys offered, but I absolutely love being here, and I've really enjoyed the amenities and the ambiance and the people, and so.
So how has NuvoDesk helped your business grow?
It's a great question. We utilize the space so we are, when I say we, I have a business partner and then I have other employees. And a lot of us, I think after COVID, things shifted in our industry. You realize you didn't have to have one central location. So I have a shop, a warehouse that I work out of. I live on 4 acres and I have a warehouse that we store our materials. I have an office there at that warehouse. My business partner has his own office as well, and then I have people that work for me remotely. A lot of them work from home, and this has been great for us because we get our mail here. We have company meetings here. I can bring clients here, and just with the amenities, it gives me the big office feel without the price of having to have a mortgage every month. And of course, just the people are impressed when they walk in here. It's very professional. It's always clean. They're going to get greeted by somebody at the front desk, and we just really enjoy those options.
So would you recommend NuvoDesk to other small business owners?
Absolutely. I think this is a great place. It's centrally located in the Metroplex. I love the staff. Everybody's very helpful. There's a lot of great resources you can rent. Depending on the week, you may need a bigger office, or you may need a dedicated office every week. There's just different options depending on your budget, and then of course just the amenities. 100% can recommend NuvoDesk to anybody that's looking.
Yeah. So do you have any advice for those who might be interested in your field of work?
So what's challenging about I'll just call it roofing sales is there's a lack of education. You go get hired on with a company, and it was my experience that you're just on your own. You kind of sink or swim is the mentality. I would say for me, I went and did my research, and really I kind of went on an education journey myself. I would say this. One of the biggest things that has shifted my mindset in this industry, because it can be challenging doing sales, commission-only sales, and basically you're surviving every week based on how hard you work, and sometimes that can be daunting. I really focus on the process rather than results. Obviously, we measure the results, but what are my processes that get me where I need to be? I try to focus on relationship sales, so building relationships and really building referral sources and those types of things. Strategic partners is how I've grown my business, and I get 99.9% of my referrals and business comes from 99% of my business comes from referrals from those partners, and so it really does. It's easier because I enjoy just hanging out with people throughout the week and getting to know people and those types of things, and it makes it less daunting as far as just the rigor of what sales can be. So
you mentioned how before this you used to be a teacher and a coach, right? Was there a specific moment when you knew this is what you wanted to do?
The first year when I made 5 times as much as I did when I was a teacher, I did really well my first year. And what one of the things that helped me was I became a sales manager very quickly, and so I could utilize some of the tools I had, the organizational tools, and just being able to communicate with people pretty much right away in this industry and get rewarded for it. I remember as a teacher, I would work until 2 a.m, and I said if I did any other job, just the hardest working people in the world, if I did any other job, I would be a millionaire because of how hard I worked. So I learned a lot from teaching, but I think just like I said before, the relationships I've built and then the ability to be of service, something clicked in me back in 16. It's like, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. And I can do this. I can be successful.
Yeah. It's like, so you'd say like it's definitely a very like rewarding career to have.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's a common myth about your job or industry?
Every roofer, I think there's like a blue collar type of mindset when it comes to roofing that construction people are uneducated and maybe don't, and that's like so far from the truth. I've met the most brilliant human beings in this industry. So I don't know necessarily if that falls into what you're asking, but that kind of seems like to me.
No, yeah,
my
that
mentality
does, yeah.
of what construction was before I was in construction is way different.
Yeah. So what networking methods have you found worked best for you?
Okay, so I like networking groups, and the reason why, one of the things that a lot of guys do is door knocking, and it's great, and I've seen a lot of guys have a lot of success. I don't have the luxury to do that. I have a big family. I want to be with my family in the evenings, and so I have to kind of be strategic about how I'm door knocking. So for me, a door knock is basically trying to ask somebody if they need my services, right? So networking groups are the most efficient way for me to door knock. I can connect with 20 people in 1 hour and get to know them, and then over time they know, like, and trust me, and then whatever their sphere of influence is, that I can utilize that, and they can refer me business because they know me. We meet every week. Yeah. And so networking groups for sure are good. Also, pretty much for me, I know a lot of people, family members, friends from church, friends from other events that we do. Picking up the phone and calling them, not necessarily like I want you to use me as a roofer, but just calling them. And one technique I use is forward questions. I ask them about their family, their occupation, recreation, and dreams. It's like an interview process. If I can do 50 of those a week, a lot of times they're going to reciprocate those questions back to me, and then I'm front of mind when something comes up and they need something. But it's like just being able to connect with people on a regular basis.
Yeah. So is networking your like main form of marketing for your business?
That is the main thing I do, yes.
Have you tried any other forms of marketing?
So yes and no. So I've done door-to-door sales and have had some success, but I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Social media marketing is something that we're looking to get into, and kind of media marketing. So we've somewhat dabbled in some of that stuff, but pretty much what we've done is networking. And a lot of times we get returning customers, so referrals from returning customers.
So what would you say is the most crucial trait that someone would need to possess in your role?
You have to have faith, but there's got to be a little bit of a neutrality in your mindset. If I have expectations of how things need to go, I'm going to be let down every week. Mm-hmm. I just need to enjoy the process, enjoy the ride. I really love what I do, and I love the process of growing and learning. And I need, if I look at the full sphere of, this is my 9th season, so it's like I've always done well. Maybe some years better than others, but I'm always taken care of. So I think we can get into that mindset where it's like it's never enough, or I'm just very extreme thinking. And for me, it's like you just have to trust the process, set up the processes, track them, but also just trust and be resilient in what you do and believe in what you do.
Do you have a life motto?
I'm just going to, off the cuff, first thing that came to my mind is, faith and family are like my number one, my 2 driving forces for me. So just my faith in God and am I living to His will, and then, for me, really valuing having a big family and being a father. So I'm a CEO of a business, but I'm also the CEO of my family. And making sure that I'm there for my kids and of course for my wife. But ask me next week and maybe I'll have something cooler to say.
So if you could change one thing about your industry, what would you change?
I really wish that that roofing was a licensed industry in Texas. I've worked other markets, the Denver market, where we had to be licensed, and it just seemed like it was so much better. It's a lot more competitive, and you kind of weed out the little, the guys that are coming in here trying to break the law and do things the wrong way, where we kind of get, here in Texas, we kind of get clumped with those guys. And so I think if it were licensed, if we had to be licensed, the people that really want to do this are going to do it. It's going to be too expensive and too many hoops to jump through for those that are just kind of doing this just to make a quick buck and run down the road.
Yeah, there'd be like more quality control, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so what's one piece of advice you'd have to share with the listeners? And just like not in your industry, just in general.
One thing that I've been challenging myself is in my kids too, is having a daily routine. And so looking at, where do I want to be? What are my goals? But I definitely would read that book, Atomic Habits, because a lot of the things that I accomplish are a result of the small things I do every single day. And so what I try to do is really get granular with the little things that you wouldn't necessarily think about. Like, am I drinking enough water? Am I exercising every day? Do I read and educate myself every day? And then, prayer and meditation for me. And then there are also things from a business perspective that I need to do. But we always want to look at the big things. Like, I want to make these big changes and I want to make this much money. But for me, and I would just recommend the one thing that I have to do every day is I have to find 3 things I'm grateful for. Because it's easy, it really helps my mindset, and it's one of the first things I do. And I've actually started to challenge my kids to do that. I want you to tell me. It's so easy to complain about your situation, but really focusing on gratitude every day, I think, has made a huge impact in my life.
Yeah. So what's next for you in your business?
So we are really moving towards commercial and really growing in the commercial sphere and trying to grow our contacts and network in that. And I think the industry itself is shifting because of the way insurance rates, premiums, deductibles are going up. The prices of our homes are going up. And so we're really transitioning into a retail market, which means that it would make a lot more sense to invest in a product that's not going to have to be replaced every 5 years. So specialty roofing is kind of where I think the industry is heading. So metal, like if I have to pay $15,000 for my deductible to do my roof, I don't ever want to do that again. Yeah. So I want to find a system that's gonna last forever, and then make sure that from an energy perspective and insulation, all the things that we look at, it's going to be like the forever roof. And I think that's where we're headed.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening to the NuvoDesk podcast. If you enjoyed, please be sure to follow the show or share it with a friend. Thanks for being a part of the NuvoDesk community.